Hello, I'm Adrian from Double O Racing. Today we're going to run the Sachs Madass 125 tune-up kit, stage 1. We're going to run it on a 2010 new engine, which is basically running now. Let's run it standard and see what it does, completely standard with stock exhaust, CDI and carburettor. So here's the stock engine. We're running a stock pipe with the cat, following it through to our mocked up standard silencer as well. We've had to fit it like this to get it into the extractor. We're also running the standard carburettor with the standard airbox and also the standard CDI. We've had to mock it up. It's a little bit crude, but it is all connected up as it would be on the bike. We're also running the recert system, which is the emission control system. You can see the pipe coming off the head. This will get blanked off when we actually do the main test with the Double O Racing kit. Okay, we're going to just check we're up to temperature for running. Average temperature around about 95 to 105 is your average running temp. There we go. Okay, so let's look at the results. We've got a maximum horsepower of 8.5 bhp, 7 foot-pounds of torque, and it's quite a good RPM on this one, which is 10,500. Fairly smooth line through the range there. Let's look at the horsepower. Right, the horsepower, it's got quite early development up to sort of 5 horse and dies off, and then climbs again right up to sort of 8.5 again, and then starts to tail off at around about, she's dropping at 8,000 right the way down, 9,000 she's only down to 6 horse, and then at 10,000 she's down to nearly 4 horse, so dies off quite early there. If we look at the relationship to the torque yet again, very early torque curve comes in, but then peaks out much like the BHP does, and also dies off very early. We'd like to try and increase that, and obviously it's producing only around about 4 foot-pounds of torque at 9,000. So right, with let's go and fit the kit and see what she does. Okay, so here's the bits we're going to use. We're going to fit the carburetor kit, 26mm Mikuni, with a performance air filter. Also the R11 CDI Mach 4, which should give us a few more RPM and an early advance curve. So right, with the magic of camera, it'll be done in a couple of seconds. Okay, here's the kit fitted. We're using our Dyno exhaust because it's got a lambda sensor, so we can monitor air fuel ratio. It's about a 28mm bore right the way through, straight through silencer into our extractor. The carburettor is the 26mm Mikuni we're using, which is basically running off a carb spinner at the moment because we can't get it in our chassis easily on the dyno. We've blanked off the emission control unit, which is the recert, but what would be supplying in the future is a blanking plate, so you can either just blank the pipe off at the top or bolt on one of our blanking plates. Carburetor is installed with the R11 performance filter, jetted with a 102.5 main jet. We're using the R11 CDI Mach 4. When you've installed it on your bike, you'll end up with a surplus pipe, which is your breather off the crankcases. This you can just put down to atmosphere, cable tie it out of the way, just out the back of the bike somewhere. It won't push the oil out unless you overfill it. And here we go. Right, we better do a run and see how we get on. Okay, I hope you can see this. It's not easy to film a screen. Okay, here's our stock run. Let's switch this on here. We'll look at the torque curve first. There we go, that's our first run with a completely stock bike. We had a 8.5 maximum bhp, 7 foot-pounds of torque, and absolute maximum revs of 10,500 RPM. Let's introduce the kit dyno run. Here we go. So we've got the kit dyno run, we've got the torque curve. Now the light blue line here, if you can follow that, is the kit form. This is this one with the 26mm Mikuni. So we got a big gain in torque much earlier on. Levels out, so it's only 0.4 more torque overall, but the gain is much greater. So we've got an earlier gain, and look how long it runs for. The torque's running so much longer, right the way up to sort of 8,750 against, if you take a reading at 8,750, we've got 6.2 foot-pounds of torque. And if we look at the original with the stock setup, we've got 4.2 foot-pounds. So it's quite a gain there. Let's now get rid of the torque curve and introduce the horsepower curve. So we'll click on there. There's the horsepower. So the top line is the red one, is the one with the tune-up kit. We've now got a very early development of torque. Not a big jump, but there's quite a jump. It tails off still at 6,000 as the original did. Now that's normally the duration of the camshaft, denotes that. But then that soon climbs at 6,500 RPM, where it starts to get on cam and pulls right the way around. You know, you've got this big driving range, still at 8 horse at 9,500. That's the sort of point where you'd be changing gear. You wouldn't be revving out that far out, but it's still carrying right the way. You've still got around about sort of 7 bhp at even 10,000, sort of 250, if you see against your original line here, which is quite a lot lower. So that's quite a gain for a little small engine. That really can feel that on the road. Now on our air-fuel ratio on our gauge here, you can see we've got lean over here and rich right the way over this side. Unfortunately you can't see the actual proper reading there, the ratio, because our camera won't pick it up. But what we're going to do is in a little run in top gear, so you can see the air-fuel ratio as it's working. We tend to run them slightly rich on the acceleration and more into the rich zone on the very top end, but a sort of optimal, which is round sort of this region here for sort of cruising along. So I'm going to fire the bike up and we'll give it a run. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was some help. We're trying to produce some new bits for the Madass in 2010, new stock parts list and various other things. Don't hesitate to email us at info@00racing.com or give us a call on 01304 81 447. Many thanks. Take care. Bye.